Probably need to get rid of the Steam Deck sound now that you've got rid of yours.
Probably, yeah. Well, I mean, you've still got one. You're fine. You can have it.
I'm still supporting it.
It's all right. Just saying. If you feel like you want to get rid of it, you should probably do it before they're not worth anything.
I love it.
No, I'm just messing. It's a great piece of hardware. It's fine.
I'm still enjoying it. I'm still in that honeymoon period with it at the minute.
Well, I had that as well. I had a massive honeymoon period with it as well, but
I think your issues were you fucking took. Oh, that was a bit soon for the F, but it doesn't matter. We're not monetized anyway. But you took I'm really red.
You are really red. You look
What's
like
going on?
You look like your blood pressure's gone through the roof.
I think one of the main reasons you may have fallen out of love with it is from going from Windows to Steam, from Windows to Steam, from Windows to Steam, from Windows to Steam. And that is probably accurate to the amount of times you did it.
But why was I doing that?
Because you wanted to play native Games Pass.
Exactly. So it was like there was no operating system for it, which actually I feel like truly felt good with it.
So you were never quite there unless you're playing Vampire Survivor on it.
Yeah. I tell you what, with all these Windows handhelds coming out though, it wouldn't surprise me if it was either like an official thing, like with whatever the next Windows is, whether there's like an official gaming handheld mode for that, or if somebody else does like like crowbars Windows into feeling nice on a handheld, so like somebody will nail it.
Yeah. Somebody will. Let's hope. What have you been playing then this week? Before we get on to the brand new Xbox VR headset.
I've had a load of fun this week. I've obviously been playing a bit of Hogwarts. Jumped back into Power Wash Simulator to get that fucking
that hit
fire engine clean. I wish I had some metal wash for that, because the getting that chrome back up nice and shiny is a mission. Where else was I playing? I jumped back in and installed, and this is quite strange, this, because on Steam Deck it looked awful, and that was F1 Manager, and it looked awful to the point that I only played one season in it, because there was something like, it's quite bad for it anyway. Both games on PC and on Steam Deck, to try and get it so it doesn't look smeary and blurry, because it's dynamic resolution is like really I'm not sure whether it's dynamic resolution or like some sort of scaling thing anyway. It's really aggressive. Like even if you set everything to ultra, it's really aggressive. It looks really blurry, and like the motion blur, and like it smears across the screen. Like the image quality it's like it's awful. So I downloaded that to my laptop, and I'd only ever played it on Steam Deck before. If you're playing F1 Manager, it's on a PC is definitely the way to do it now. I've like it's nicer than playing it on the Steam Deck. I still had
PC game though. Those manager
it is,
games,
yeah, of course
games.
it is. Yeah. Well, I mean, you're essentially playing a game which is you virtually sat in front of a computer managing a Formula One team. So it feels more natural to do it on a laptop, I suppose. So yeah, I started doing that. I edited the file which does the thing through step-by-step thing I read on Reddit. That made it look a little bit better. Still looks like piss, if we're honest, which is really weird, because it's made by Frontier, which is the same company that made Jurassic Park Evolution management games, and they look stunning. So I don't understand what happened with Formula One Manager, but like there's a really like weird bokeh effect on all this stuff as well, like the it like when the camera backs away from things, it like shifts the foreground and the background like in and out of focus really sharply, and it's just really bad. But yeah, I've been managing Aston Martin. I stuck Alonso in, where second to last in the championship right now, barely scraping into Q2 with Alonso because he performs magic. And I'm slowly running that team into the ground. Not doing well at it, but I quite enjoy it. Then what else did I do? I cracked the we had a snow day. I don't know if you saw.
Yeah, we had one as well.
Yeah. So yeah, we had quite a lot of snow in the Isle of Man, which is unusual for a small island. So 2 snow days we've had this year. Twice. That never happens. Never happens on the Isle of Man. Is getting like 2 separate, like good dustings of snow. So I had nothing to do. I didn't even have a child with me. My son was with his mum. So I thought, like, what can I do? So I cracked the sim rig out. I did some sim racing on what's that game? Race Room. So I took part in the challenge of Race Room, got myself into the top 200 on the challenge, which was
wow, nice one.
Yeah, I think what 156, 156. I sixth I am on the challenge, which is around the Red Bull Ring in some sort of GT3 car, I think. And I was pretty happy with that, considering I haven't done any sim racing this year, so I enjoyed doing that. I think that's been it. But yeah, that's been my gaming soiree. If
A lot
that's
of
a word.
racing, very racing oriented.
Very
Apart
racing
from the
orientated.
simulator, that's just management.
I haven't.
I've been playing a bit of Wo Long.
I had a go. I don't like it.
You don't. It's not your type
No.
of thing, though, is it?
Souls like in it. It's gonna have the only Souls like that seems to be coming out, which I think I'm gonna be all over, is Life of P when that comes out. That looks so good. I don't care. It's like, just give me a difficulty slider. That's all I want. I just want a fucking difficulty slider. Is that so difficult? Clearly.
Well, you said it. Difficult. It is difficult.
Yeah, just
I
like
don't think Wo Long's that bad in terms of difficulty, but I do like the Dark Souls games for their difficulty. I've been playing a bit of that. What else have I been playing? Oh, have you put on the Steam Deck? I've been playing the Dark Woods.
The Dark Woods. Oh,
Bird's eye view, Silent Hill type thing.
Oh, I started playing that. Is that the one where you've got to kill the dog at the beginning?
Yes, your own dog.
That's
Spoilers.
grim.
It's right at the beginning, people. So if you're thinking of getting, it's like £3 on Steam at the minute. Good game. Very
It is a good
atmospheric.
game, a perfect Steam Deck game as well. I'm not sure
Yeah.
I could play that sat like on an Xbox on the telly. Perfect Steam Deck.
Yeah, looks good. Looks good. Yeah. It's nice sound as well. But yeah,
yeah. I told you the other one. If you're looking for something like top downy, I think you'd really like this. Actually, is the Cult of Lamb.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, it's like a cute like cult simulator where you play a sheep.
Anything culty I like. Yeah,
you play a sheep. It's just the other stuff we do, mate. I do find it really weird that they called that game the Cult of Lamb as well.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's a cute cult simulator game. So you get it's a roguelite, I think that is the word for it. So you go out off like to get loot and stuff to build your cult up more. You can find followers on your little excursions away. You can also rename your followers. So I was renaming all my followers as like my friends, and then at some point realized that I was going to have to sacrifice some of them to get the others in line. Yeah,
kill a few friends, it's fine.
But yeah, no, you'd really like that, and I think it's only about 15 quid. But yeah, that's another cracking game. Steam Deck looks incredible.
I may get it tonight if it's in the sale, just for you.
Did
and record
you?
because I unlike you, I will take a recommendation
Well, at least mine came out like
for
within recorded history.
Fallout New Vegas.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like the first video game ever made. The um, did you download the Decky Loader thing?
The Decky Loader?
Decky Loader, yeah.
Is that where it'll make pretty much any game run on it?
No, no, that's I take it you have downloaded that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, no. Have a look on. Oh God, I can't remember. I think you just do it through the Discover store now. It used to be you used to have to do something in command line to do it,
Right.
but you don't. I don't think you do now. I think you can just off the Discover store, just type in Decky Loader. You can change the background of your Steam Deck. You can
Oh
make
yeah, yeah, yeah. I know exactly what I mean. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But it's also got it's got vibrant deck on it as well, which means you can crank up the color saturation, and like it's until you do that. And I think I can't remember what what I think I put the color at 130. I think that's what I found the sweet spot between 125 and 130. And I as soon as I did that and then I put it back to normal, I realized how shit the screen looks normally.
I'm gonna have to download it.
Right.
100%.
Genuinely, you will think you've put a new screen in it. It just ups the saturation level and it gives it that sort of deeper black and like higher like contrast of colors, and it makes it feel a bit like an OLED screen. It's really good.
I'm gonna get it.
Yeah.
So you especially have got a hankering now to get the PlayStation VR2.
Yes. I have been. I talked my.
Salivating.
I talked myself down today from buying a PS5 because I was on Amazon. I thought I could just do it and pay him 5. And then because I was surprised. Like I thought PSVR2 was out. It's not. You can't buy it yet. It's coming out.
Or it is out.
No, no. It was. I think it was
Out
like
for pre-order or something.
yeah. No, I don't even. I haven't even found it to pre-order. To be honest, it was like the whole February 22nd thing seems to be like that was it's official launch. Like this is what it is, but you can't buy it yet.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's just very odd. Because I mean, you can get it on the PlayStation website, add to cart.
Or maybe you can only get it on that because you can't get it on Amazon.
Yeah, I think everywhere's sold out. That's the
No, no, no,
problem that
because
you're getting.
there's not a listing for it.
Right.
There's no listing for it on Very. There's no listing for it on Amazon.
It's probably just like in the major game retailers and PlayStation website at the minute. But yeah, you can.
Amazon.
Yeah, I know.
Um,
Maybe Jeff missed the boat.
maybe. So I would like. I want a bundle, if I'm honest. I'd like a
Yeah, you need.
PlayStation 5, Gran Turismo, and PSVR bundle because it just looks incredible.
It does. It looks absolutely amazing. Which is it got me. Really got me thinking this week uh, about how I think Xbox has got some real gems that they could do so much with VR with. One, Halo. Can you imagine a Halo game where you were in that room and in the Master Chief um, suit
Yeah.
and the helmet goes on?
Yeah, yeah, but it's a fast-paced shooter, which would make you feel
No,
very
no. They don't have to do. They could do what they did with Horizon Call for the Mountain and do like
right.
an
Okay.
on a kind of make you could
Oh
have
no,
this.
no, no, no! It's not on rails that game. You know, have you not
Is
seen
it not?
Have you not seen Digital Foundry play it?
I've seen them playing bits of it, but some of it's very railing.
It was referred to as a puke factory as well.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Right. That doesn't sound very good.
No, I ah, Yeah, I don't know. Like I know I will be okay on the because I don't get VR sickness anyway.
No, I don't. I get
Says the guy.
headache.
I was just going to say, says the guy that's doing a podcast now that feels like he's going to throw up. I can't even do a podcast without feeling I'm going to vomit, let alone do VR. But I think I'll be okay in the car. I think I'll be okay in the car games. I didn't mind. I could play the what you call it, the Quest 2 for hours.
There you go. Dan's gonna. That's the challenge from Dan.
I will, mate. I like it's on the shopping list, like literally as well. Like I removed. I've got a big glass TV cabinet that it had like, it's one of those floating shelves from back in the day when we used to have lots of things like VCRs and stuff like that. Well, we don't have those things anymore, do we? So I've took the shelf out so I can just have my actual like Xbox stood up underneath it. Because to tell you what, I know they've turned around and said that you like having your Xbox on the side won't damage it. I don't believe that in the slightest.
What do you mean? You have it like
Yeah,
a
sideways.
VCR?
I do not believe in the slightest that is a good way to have that games console for a long period of time.
Now mine stood up and it looks good stood up.
It looks good stood up, but like I remember thinking this with the old 360 as well. Like I used to have my 360 like up on its side as well, because you thought, well, that if you don't have it up like that, it's got very little places to vent from properly because heat wants to rise, doesn't it? So there's you're blowing it out the side. I get that, but it's still hanging around, isn't it? All the heat's hanging around for a bit before you can get rid of it.
You best not get rid of your Xbox.
Oh no, I won't get rid of the Xbox. I've every console generation I've had an Xbox. All I need to do is, and this is the big one. If I get a PlayStation, I need to work out whether I can be bothered doing the merry dance it takes to try and get your PlayStation ID back through PlayStation because
it's not that hard. I've done that before.
No, mine was hacked, like fully hacked.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter because like none of my account information, like cards and stuff, are even work anymore on it. Like my bank card, for instance, would have been well invalidated by now. But I don't know if I can be bothered because I'm not one for going back and playing old games, really. So I might just start afresh and just like make a new handle or something like that.
But here's what I was thinking. So you've got Halo, you've got Gears of War, you've got Forza, you've got three things there that I think would work really, really well with VR. Forza, that's a given. You'd agree there. Forza is definitely a given when you see Gran Turismo.
Yep.
You've got Gears of War, where that could be again like the Horizon thing, just like a Halo thing could. But I think if Xbox did a VR headset, and I was thinking about old tech like the Kinect, and I didn't realize, but when I was making this crazy AI generated thumbnail, well, that in the middle is an old Kinect mixed with a new Kinect that I've created. But this is the new Kinect, people. And I think with this sort of tech, you could really Xbox could really do some damage.
I know what you mean, but with inside out tracking, we do seem to be moving past the idea of having cameras.
Yeah. But the way the Kinect worked, even back then, how it tracked your body was brilliant.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, any type of input that goes in. The only thing I would say is that if you've got full body tracking as well in VR, that's yet more processing power that's needed.
Mhm.
So maybe that'd take away from the VR. I really don't know. That was just a thought that popped in my head.
It just seems
It's
so weird that it's missing from Xbox when usually the two companies compete neck on neck with everything.
it is strange that Microsoft is letting Sony have it all their own way when it comes to VR. I mean, don't forget, like I remember because at one point, remember the Oculus Rift was supposed to work on Xbox.
Yeah,
That was the plan.
I remember that,
Yeah.
and it seems almost perfect because they don't have to fork out for the hardware and stuff like that.
No, it's that's the way I'd be looking at doing it. But then I
Because
think
they don't make money on hardware, so
no. But you've got like even back with the like Windows have the what was it called? Is it Windows mixed reality headsets? HP make one.
is that the glasses thing?
No. It's just a VR headset, but instead of called VR, it's called mixed reality. And like I know Hewlett Packard make one. I think Levino make one as well. They're just not quite as good Oculus Rifts, essentially. So you can get like essentially Windows centric VR headsets.
Do you think we're going to see it? Do you think we are going to see a competitor for Xbox? Do you think Xbox is going to compete with PlayStation with VR? They said last year that they said last generation they weren't interested at all. And
Yeah,
I'm not
doesn't make
surprised when
sense that because they actually said the Series X was going to be a VR capable console.
well it could have been.
No, but on stage when Series X was released, that's when what's his name?
You mean the Xbox One X?
Yeah, Xbox One X. Sorry, who's your man? Xbox man,
Which man?
the boss.
Oh, oh my God! We say his name all the time.
We do.
It just popped out of my head.
Oh, come on, stick it up in the chat. What's the Xbox boss? Well, go, Jesus Christ,
What's it called?
fucking
Jesus
hell!
Christ!
Come on, chat. Oh, we haven't got forever.
I cannot believe his names.
No, I can't.
You've just literally removed his name from my vocabulary. Is it?
It's not Frodo.
No, it's not Frodo.
Samwise.
It could be Frodo.
Anyway, while we
Phil Spencer, fucking hell,
fucking
what
Big
the
Phil,
hell,
Big Phil,
what
Big
happened
Phil
there?
in a little shell. Yeah, the
Call yourself an Xbox fanboy.
I know, yeah. He came out when the Xbox Series X, no, sorry, Xbox One X was released. That's when they announced that there was going to be some sort of hookup with Oculus Rift, which never happened because I think that's because Meta bought it out. Or Facebook bought it out, however fucking cunty you want to be about it. And he said it was going to be a VR capable console. Like it was kind of sold as like there will be VR on the Xbox Series X at one point, and then nothing was ever said about it ever again. If Microsoft are being smart, which I actually think I think holding
they are
off
being smart
on
this
VR,
generation.
Yeah, I think holding off on VR is a smart thing to do. And if I'm perfectly honest, I think holding off on VR until Apple drop their VR headset is the way to move it. Apple and the needle movers when it comes to stuff. When it comes to, they do a really good job of taking not cutting edge tech because like the before iPhone, you had your Ericsson or was it Sony Ericsson had the little like their touch screen.
There was a few touchscreen
things.
phones.
Yeah, there was a
shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, they were shit. But then the iPhone came out.
There was the Ericsson one. It was white, I think, with a bit of blue on it, and it had a stylus.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking of. But the iPhone came out and it was like, oh shit. So what they did was they took everything everyone else was doing and they streamlined it. They made it user friendly and then they fucking broke the phone industry with it. They did the same with MP3 players. There was loads of MP3 players. Everyone had an MP3 player. There was Sony Walkman MP3 players. There was Zunes, iPod drops, revolutionized the way we listen to music. I think they will do the same because they need a new product as well. You know, like Apple haven't done the sort of the big. This is a thing now. I'd argue they did it with the HomePod as well. HomePod doesn't get HomePod doesn't get as much love as it deserves because that is a smart speaker, especially the big one,
Mm.
sounds incredible. And I think you'll see their VR stuff this year.
Well, out this year or
Yeah, well, but I mean, I imagine so. I imagine it'll be like one of the Apple keynotes. Something will come out about it this year, and it'll be available to buy fall 2023 for only the price of your firstborn.
and you think that's where Microsoft? So do you think Microsoft already kind of has? They will already have a prototype,
They'll have
if,
hundreds of prototypes. Of
but
course,
they're
they'll
just.
have.
Because do you think they're just waiting for? So they are waiting for Apple, and they will release
I think
this generation.
I don't think that necessarily there'll be like internal memos that go around going, "We're going to wait for Apple to do this." But there'll be subtle hints of like, "We're going to wait until like to the industry's changed. Like, wait for the industry to be ready, and the industry will be ready when Apple drops something because so many people will be on board with it."
I mean, I thought we'd have a haptics controller by now for Xbox because everybody rants and raves about the haptic feedback on the PlayStation controller.
Yeah, but again, it's
But I think you do need that on a VR headset, on the VR grips, whatever they're going to be
I'm not
called on
sure about
the
the
Xbox.
triggers. Like the haptic triggers, I think might be something that get used. I'm surprised actually that the big one for me. I thought when this generation of console came out, they would make back paddles on the controllers standard. You
So,
know, like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
the back paddles you get on like the pro controllers. I thought they would be right. We're just baking these into controllers now.
I'm not a big back paddle guy.
I've never used them. I never used them on the
Steam Deck.
Steam Deck. Well, not even once.
No,
Not
I haven't.
even once did I use them. But again, that's because the no
But
games
at least they thought to put them there. It's the
no,
thought
but
that counts.
games use them. That's the thing. If 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 it was on every if both PlayStation and Xbox had it, then you'd use them. You know, the developers would develop towards back paddle buttons. It's
Yeah.
wild, really, when you think about it, because I mean, like the controllers for Xbox and PlayStation are so similar, you know, in certain ways. You know, the amount of buttons that are on them, the placement of the buttons. It's only really the stick placement which is different. But when you think back to like SNES and Mega Drive and N64 as well, N64 to PlayStation,
the N64 controller was
it,
fucked up. That thing.
it was, but it was still getting there with buttons like in
It,
comparable to.
when I say it was fucked up, though, I loved it.
I loved it as well. It was one of my favorite controllers. I don't know why everyone beefs about it. But when you had like the SNES came out with like two shoulder buttons, I remember the shoulder buttons be like, "What the fuck am I going to do with this? How am I ever going to remember that there's two buttons on the top of the controller?
Yeah.
This is wild." And then four face buttons, and then the old Mega Drive was sat in the corner going, I've got like an A, B, and C button." And what happens if you want to do more? Oh, it's dead easy. That like we'll just do combinations of those buttons. You'll be fine. You'll get
Press
along with
them
it.
both together.
Yeah. So no, I just find it really, really weird. Maybe it's a problem actually. Maybe it's a problem for pushing things forward in the game industry because they've like controller wise because they've kind of met each other in this like point. anything anyone does, like the trackpad on the that Sony still put on the PlayStation controller. I mean, it's fine. Do you know what I mean? It's fine. Some games use it, some games don't. Fairly fucking useless, if we're all perfectly honest. Same with the haptic triggers. I've only really used that with Astrobot, which has actually done anything with it. It was cool. I actually think the way the weight distribution seems to change in the controller is the best thing about that with the haptic. So it feels like it gets lighter and heavier on one side with what I can only assume is magic.
It actually probably is magic.
Yeah, that's quite interesting. But it's look at the Switch. Like the Switch controllers could do all sorts of gubbins. There's IR sensors.
They've got kind of like haptics, haven't they?
They had the best. They had 3D Rumble. That was well ahead of what was in everything else when
Yeah,
that
I
came out.
remember what was
Never
it?
used.
Was it 1-2-3 Switch or whatever it
Yeah,
was called, where you could
yeah.
like pour yourself a glass of milk or
Yeah, and then there was another one where I can't remember what game it was, but it felt like there was things rolling around in the Joy-Con. And but again, fucking useless because only Nintendo had it. So and even they couldn't be bothered using it in their own games, which is weird.
anyway, you didn't answer it. Do you think
What?
we're gonna see a VR this
Sorry.
year? Not this year, sorry. This generation from Xbox.
No.
You think they're gonna wait till next generation
Yeah.
if there is one? Let's face it, there will be one. Everybody says.
Yeah, I know. I think we're going to get onto it, which it might be a good place to get onto it now. The idea of the pro models.
Well, I said to you today, are you gonna get the pro? Wait for the pro, and you went.
I don't think there's going to be one.
I think there is.
I think there'll be. I think there'll be a light.
There will be a pro. There will be a pro.
It doesn't make sense.
Why?
It doesn't make sense because we still don't have, or we still have very few PS5 only games. We're not even using these consoles yet. They're like we haven't got like next gen experiences. You know, like when you saw the Matrix demo and stuff like that. We haven't got games that look like that yet on it. I think we're going to start seeing some of these this year. People can't afford to buy eggs and tomatoes right now. I think the idea of bringing out a more expensive, more powerful PlayStation 5 when I still believe that the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, like they're a real jump from last gen, especially if you look at the base consoles. It's a proper generation jump there with what's in them, and there's a bigger jump between the Xbox One and the One X, for instance, between the One X and the Series X, or the PS4 Pro and the PS5. I don't see the need for it. There was a need with the going from Xbox One and PS4 to an extent because they don't forget it kind of a similar situation. We were coming out of the 2008 financial collapse. I think they skimped on the hardware, but it's certainly on Xbox Xbox One. Because that thing was struggling to play games day one when it was released.
Yep.
Like the
and I was the day one buyer.
So was I. PlayStation 4 coped better. Don't get me wrong. They had a stronger console, cheaper.
I can remember seeing some of the comparison games on Digital Foundry.
Yeah.
When that thing, and I was like, fucking hell, I think I bought the wrong console.
But something massive happened between the Xbox One coming out and the Pro model, or Xbox Series X and PlayStation.
They dumped the Kinect.
No, the massive thing that happened was you could all of a sudden walk into a TV shop or go on Amazon and buy a 4K telly for hundreds instead of thousands of pounds.
Mm.
Everybody could buy a 4K telly, and neither of those consoles were capable of running of even upscaling to 4K. You know, because that's all checkerboarding is. You know, like the way Xbox. I mean, Xbox Series X kind of handles it a bit better than PlayStation 4 Pro does. But we needed the jump to use the technology better. I don't see in the time we have between, especially the way electronics have had to go up in price. I don't see 8K tellies falling enough in price to the point where they become like even a 30% market share in people's houses.
No, but what I would like from a next gen, I don't care about the 8K.
No, but that's the only reason they do it, because they seem to be in love with resolution at the minute.
Yeah, well, like you said to me that today that you've been playing Harry Potter again, and you've put it onto ray tracing because there's been the patch.
Yeah,
and it runs much better. I would want to play games with ray tracing at 60 because for
you
me,
won't. Even on the Pro model, you won't.
you're just disappointing me.
No, you won't. You won't, because it'll be CPU limited at that point. You know, we've found some CPU bottlenecks already on games. You know, with what we have, if the Pro model comes out, it's not good. It's going to have like a faster GPU, but it's going to be the same. Just for ease of development, they can't change that much between the PS5 and PS5 Pro and Xbox Series X and X. What would Xbox even call it? Xbox XX?
The Xbox Series, they probably.
I don't think Microsoft release a better console until next gen. I think they're going to do the same thing. They will release a new Xbox Series S and a new Xbox Series X, like iPhone release new iPhones.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you when it comes to the Xbox Series S, and if anybody's got one, I loved my Xbox Series S because I saw my PS4 Pro, I couldn't get a PS5, and then I couldn't get an Xbox One X, and I couldn't actually afford one at the time. But lo and behold, there was this console that was what £250 or whatever it was when it just come out. And I thought, you know what, I'll get back on the Xbox bandwagon because I'd been Xbox for years, and I loved it. The problem is with that machine now is it's holding. I think that's holding a lot of next gen games back that are for both the PlayStation and Xbox because a developer has to make whatever game they're making, it has to work on. Look at the new Baldur's Gate. There's some issue with that, with the split screen, that they cannot get that thing running on the Xbox Series S.
Interesting.
So I think
you think they'd be able to do whatever the Xbox X series does at 1080p, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You think that would be the happy medium of like, look, you can do all the stuff, but this is just kind of a 1080p box.
In some ways, the Xbox One X
is more powerful.
Yeah, and that's a problem.
I believe I might be wrong about this. Halo Infinite is better played on the Series X. On the Xbox One X than it is on the Series S. Might be wrong.
Really?
Right. I think so.
I think I did see something.
Yeah, there was definitely a game that I was playing because there was a hot minute where I was thinking about replacing my One X with the Series X, and with the Series S, and my mate, I turned around and said, "No, don't. What? We'll look at this."
Yeah, no, don't.
Oh, yeah, no, there's no point in doing it.
The other issue with that when I got it is I had an Xbox Series. I had an I get so mixed up with Xbox names. I had an Xbox One X and a PlayStation 4 Pro. I ended up going all on PlayStation and got rid of the Xbox One X. But when I got the Xbox Series S and I was playing some of my Xbox One games that I had that I used to have that are downloaded on the Xbox that were Xbox One X uplift or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
They on the Xbox Series S, they were playing it from just the Xbox One S code.
Yeah.
And it just didn't look good.
Mm.
It's disappointing.
Yeah.
If you want to play, if it's a game, if you're only going to play games that are X and S compatible, fair enough. You're winning. But if you want to play something, go back through your library and you want it to upscale, it doesn't upscale a lot of the old ones.
No, Xbox Series X does a really good job of that.
Yeah, it does.
A really good job of making things look good that have no right to look good anymore.
I bought Fear, the original Fear, and that thing runs at 60 solid.
Yeah, it's dead impressive. See that'd screw Microsoft VR as well. Like, how could you you couldn't market VR for Xbox Series S, and then that's such a way to fragment your user base to turn around to half. Like, I'm sure I would imagine the Series S is probably more than half of the install base.
That's a massive issue there. The Series S, you've just nailed it. That is probably one of the reasons why they wouldn't get a VR headset.
Yeah, I think so.
Unless they could do something with the Series S to bump it up a bit, to an add-on for it or whatever, to get round the whole you bought a Series S, tough, you can't play VR. Unless you could add something to that console to beef it out a bit.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's the death of a console, isn't it? If you're trying to add it like an Xbox Series S expansion pack or something like that, no add-on has ever worked.
No,
which is crazy, really. Like you'd have thought somebody would have nailed it. What back in the day,
I think Sega had some luck with it when they did the whole stacking system.
Oof, you think so? That failed miserably. The 32X lasted under a year, or just over a year, one of the two.
I just have good memories of my mate going to my mate's house, and he's got this thing that just looked like a.
Oh, it looked great, and the Mega CD, but the Mega CD was a failure as well. A 64DD never came out outside of Japan,
and I wanted that.
I wanted that as well. I wanted to play The Sims on it because The Sims looked fucking incredible on it. There was what else was there? I can't think now. Do you know the only one that's actually worked? The only add-on which really helped the console, and I remember most people I knew had it, was the RAM expansion pack for the N64. Didn't help. It didn't hurt that it came bundled with Diddy Kong Racing, but the everybody had a RAM pack.
You've just really got me thinking now with the Series S how they could actually do it, how they could get around it, and the only way that I could see it being done if they had some sort of.
I don't think they can.
What if they used the whole cloud?
Oh, you couldn't.
You couldn't cloud. VR. You couldn't, could you? Because the lag would be. You'd die.
You would. Yeah, you'd have a stroke and then you'd be sick. Um, yeah, it's a shame. Like I think, especially cloud gaming, um, I feel like we were just kind of coming to the point where that sort of thing would have been viable.
Mm.
Uh, but we seem to be going into probably a fairly tough window financially, and I don't just mean like as in day-to-day people. I mean also like the money that's going to go into infrastructure and stuff like that. It's like not. I don't mean to get into stuff that isn't like gaming related, but just where I am over the next sort of maybe 3 months or 2 months, the electricity bills over here are going to go up 60%.
Hmm.
That's fucking crazy times. So you can't. This is why I don't think there's going to be. Um, I don't think there's going to be pro consoles because people are going to be struggling. The West, especially for Xbox, is like key market. So if the West is struggling, who's buying these consoles? You can't just buy. Um, you can't build consoles and just expect to sell them to people living in places like Abu Dhabi and Dubai. Do you know what I mean? You
Well,
can't.
this is what we found so weird about the price of the PS VR2. You know,
Yeah, I've actually come down on my stance on the price of the PSVR2.
you think it's worth every penny.
I think it's still very expensive, and think if they could have brought that PSVR2 down to the 399 mark, so it was in line with being the same sort of price as a console, or just cheaper than a console.
I don't think an accessory should ever be as expensive as the actual thing.
That it's a brain. It is a thing, But I suppose then the thing, you've got two controllers that come with it. You only get one controller that comes with the console. There's a lot of technology that's crammed into it. The fact that it seems to be it's a better headset than the Valve Index, and the Valve Index is a grand.
Yeah, the
Um,
Valve Index looks incredible as well.
I'll
But yeah,
be interested to know what PC drivers the community cobble together. Because there will be
oh yeah, they'll
if
get it working.
yeah, if and third party drivers tend to be fine. Like third party drivers that are made by a bunch of like clever people generally tend to work pretty well. So I expect that there'll be drivers out there at some point that'll let you play your Steam games with it.
As good as it looks, the PSVR 2, do you think it's going to do extremely well in the long run?
I don't know. I don't know. I still believe that the biggest drawback and the like barrier to entry for VR isn't cost, it's space. Because it's
I was fine with my PS4 VR. I broke a few things, hurt myself a couple of times, knocked a few glasses of wine over,
yeah, but
but
that would that
apart from that,
but I'd argue that that in its very nature, it was more tailored towards a seated experience.
yeah,
Yeah,
the VR the previous VR headset, the
yeah,
VR1,
yeah, yeah.
was
Whereas this isn't. This
definitely
is a proper VR headset. And it's because it was bound by old tech that like the move controllers were awful for tracking. The camera was terrible. It was stuck in like old technology with a shiny new helmet. Um, Whereas this one, I've played both I've played Valve's headset and I've played the Oculus Quest 2. And I mean, I moved my whole studio around when I was playing the Oculus Quest, and I had a fairly big space. It was just just okay. And I would say, like, if I move this, like my sort of office table, wherever we want to call what I do here, um, against the window, sort of kind of blocks this window, I'm left with what I'd say is a average to slightly bigger than average size living room in
Mhm.
this as free space. So I could clear that essentially. So I had that as an empty area, and I was still walking over and bumping into my desk, or like putting my hand out and touching the wall when I was in it. So I mean, you can get around these things. Don't get me wrong. You can still enjoy VR in a living room, but there's living rooms are weird because you know at some point it's dead easy to get for anyone that hasn't played VR. Dead easy to get disorientated, and it's if you play a VR game for a couple of minutes, you think you know exactly where you are in the room, and you absolutely do not. You take that you take that headset off, and you are in the corner over by the telly when you started in the hallway. You know it's it, it's always in the back of your mind as well, especially if you um or let's say you've got a fireplace in your house. So you think, right, so you've got a fire guard up so you can't fall in the fire. Great. So let's say like I've got one of those big like the cagey things that go around that stop children incinerating themselves. Uh so I would go past that slightly because I know my hand can go past it. So I'd kind of cheat the boundaries a little bit.
Mhm.
But then like where your couch is and stuff like that, you kind of always know that if you keep walking forward at some point, you're going to get your shin caught on a couch or you're going to clip a table or something like that. And it stops you 100% being able to invest in what's around you because you kind of know the real world's going to bite you at some point.
Yeah.
Which is why it's
Well,
perfect for racing games. You don't have any of that shit with racing games.
yeah,
You sit down behind a
racing
wheel. Yeah.
again. Another one for the Xbox. And I know you're not really into this type of thing, but Microsoft Flight Sim in VR is meant to be amazing.
I could play that in VR. I'm not interested in Microsoft Flight Sim in like sat in front of the TV. I could put some hours into that in VR.
Yeah, it'd be nice, wouldn't it? Just to look
Hmm.
out just out the window.
Yeah,
I played some flight sims on the. I had the what was it now? Ace Combat
yeah.
for the PlayStation 4 VR. That was amazing.
Mm.
It was muddy as hell, but it was still such a nice experience.
Hmm.
There's
Obviously,
so
this.
many nice experiences. That's all it was with the VR first VR.
Yeah.
Nice experiences.
Obviously, this isn't. It's not quite the same. With the as the oh fucking hell the Quest 2 because obviously that's hands free. But I used to take that to bed all the time, and I'd sit and watch YouTube videos on like a massive screen
Oh,
watching
I'm glad you
YouTube
said
stuff.
YouTube,
Yeah. VR porn's weird. I don't like VR porn. VR porn is weird. But
especially if you get caught.
no, I've said it before. I used to go and I use VR porn, not even just for the porn side of it. I just used to like looking down and thinking I had abs. Um, but the meditation stuff, I always enjoyed that. Like the thing, I listen to lots of ASMR. ASMR in VR is pretty fucking cool if you listen to ASMR. Um, the see that's like have you looked at the comparison between the Gran Turismo and Gran Turismo VR?
Yes, I've seen the it it
Very similar. Like it's
yeah, it's so if you look, because I remember playing the first Gran Turismo,
hmm,
uh not for Gran Turismo, is it Gran
sport.
Turismo Sport,
Yeah.
where you got the one level
Hmm.
in VR. It looked fucking terrible and it felt terrible.
Yeah.
Um
The sense of scale was out in that. You felt massive in a tiny car.
it from what I've seen on screen,
Mm.
so if you looked at PlayStation 4 VR on YouTube, it looked even more terrible than it actually looked when it was in your head.
Yeah.
So I imagine from what I've seen of Gran Turismo, the new Gran
Mhm.
Turismo in VR, I think that in your head will just look insane.
I watched side by side comparisons of it today before we did this, and oddly enough, I think like flat screen was like yellower. I don't know
Mhm.
whether that was to do with the ray tracing or something like that, because I'm not sure whether the VR uses ray tracing or not. I don't think it does. Um, but then actually saying that, I don't think you get ray tracing in races in Gran Turismo anyway, do you? It's only in cutscenes and replays. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. But if you showed me pictures in isolation, I couldn't tell the difference between the VR one and the non-VR Gran Turismo.
No, I know what you mean. That it's very close. It is very close. I think there's going to be certain games I th- where
Horizon looks great. Like, Horizon looks
it
really good.
does, but even me and you noticed, if you remember, when they got close up to the wall, to the rock, it went a
Mm.
bit muddy looking.
Apparently not. Like that was one of the things Linus was saying when he tested the Horizon, and he was saying that the textures were so good he felt like he could put his hand through grass.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like he was really impressed by the textures. So maybe it was just us.
It
Maybe it
might
was
have been just the YouTube
just that
artifacts that
one
were
part.
wrong.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. I mean, I wonder if because obviously I think you can play non VR games like in like a cinema screen on the
Yeah, I wouldn't be into that.
thing. Why?
Or just to play a game on a normal game in VR, just to look at a square.
In the Yeah, but you'd be like sat in front of a massive telly playing it, wouldn't you?
I don't know. It depends. If I could say, if I could play a game and be in, say, in the middle of New York City or something like that,
Hmm.
that would be pretty cool.
Yeah,
Just
or a cinema, like just a
or
cinema.
I on play a game. I'm on Mars or on the moon.
Yeah, yeah.
That
Why
would be
not?
decent. Yeah, I like stuff like that.
But it made me think like if the resolution's so good on PSVR, I mean, I could comfortably watch a movie on the Quest 2, and PSVR's got a higher refresh rate and a higher pixel density and resolution. So it does make me wonder whether if I was you might struggle with VR games, but if you were someone that was in like a small dorm or something like that, could you use that whole console around the headset instead of using a TV?
I think
So
some people could. I think some people would want to.
I would rather if I was in a small room, I would rather play games on a VR headset with a large screen than a small flat screen.
Yeah, or you might have I don't know. You may have an old TV that
Yeah.
is you're like 720p or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so at that point, the money doesn't seem so stupid for the headset
No,
because
that's a
it's
very good
television
point.
money. Yeah, it's television money. You're
It's
essentially just
television
buying.
money and it does more.
Yeah, you're buying a display for your console, which you can walk around with.
But I think if you did live your life in VR for too long, you'd probably go blind.
Or nuts.
Probably the second one.
Mm.
Nuts.
I'd like to know what it's like for glasses. Like, do I need glasses in it, or can you change the optics on them?
I think there's plenty of space for glasses because I've seen that people are already designing like
Yeah, but
lenses to put over them.
yeah, that's the thing you want to do. If you could change the focal length of them, that'd be better because you wouldn't need to put glasses on at that point. You could adjust it for your own eyes. I hate wearing glasses in VR. They fog up. They're uncomfortable. Also, one thing you can't get away with, doesn't matter how good the screen is, you get lens refraction. You get light bouncing off the lenses in your real glasses. You get light from the screens. But yeah, I think it's exciting. I don't think we're going to see anything from Microsoft, which is kind of what this podcast was about this generation. But they will have to respond. They
But
can't
you think it's going to be next year? I think you are right. And I've just seen this pop up, which is kind of very, very fitting. Do you think the Series S could also hold up the Series X and PS5 when it comes to making the most out of the machines? Like Lee said earlier, with the VR, I think this Series S is going to be the thing that's just not going to make the VR happen. But also, I think Series S can hold up to the current games that are out now. When you play it, they still look good on a Series S. It's a good machine, but I think you were speaking about the Matrix experience, Lee. I played the Matrix experience on the Series S. Didn't look bad at all, but I imagine that on a grander scale, I think that machine would hold this gen back.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll just offload the Series S at some point.
What, like they did with the Kinect?
No, not necessarily how they did. Like I said, I think we've moved into a phase now where I suppose this is going to prove me wrong because this kind of does mean that we should expect a Pro model. I just don't think we're going to get it in the time frame. Sorry, that's what I should say. I think if we do get a Pro model and it's like, I think that'll be more like a next gen upgrade, and I don't think it's going to be next year. That's it.
I think if Xbox did do a Pro model, that would be their excuse to be able to kind of
Shut the doors on Series S.
Yeah, shut the doors and see. So like you get these games that are compatible with, like, almost like the Xbox Series X becomes the S, if that makes sense. And then but you still get a lot of games that do still come out for the S.
I think if we get into the smartphone realm, and that's where we are, we're kind of in a smartphone realm for consoles now. Yeah, you can have an iPhone 7 still, but if you try and run stuff on it, like if you try and run games and things on it, they're gonna run like shit.
Yeah,
but they'll work. You can download them, but they don't work well. And I think that's where it's what PC gamers have had to put up with for ages, isn't it? Like this is where we are now. It's this strange middle ground consoles now take up. You can still go around rocking a GTX 930 or something like that, and you can download you can download Forsaken. It'll run at 12 frames a second, but you can download it and try and play it.
Yeah, you can. I've got a GTX 970.
Have you?
Yeah, but it's mainly only for the podcast. I don't really game it. Play a bit of Fallout on it though, Lee. New Vegas runs that fine.
The only thing that might save the S is the new upscaling things. Whatever I can't remember what is it, FX super resolution.
Yeah.
The AMD version. Because genuinely, before I got rid of my Steam Deck, I was surprised how much, because they updated the super resolution for that from FSR 1. Or 2.0 to 2.2. I think it was updated to. I can't remember what it was. Anyway, the like that was it wasn't just like, usually when you see these things like updates and you go, oh, I wonder if there's anything different with this, and then you play it or you open the app up and you go, oh no, I've just had like a 600 meg update for absolutely no reason.
Yeah.
This was visibly different. Like the performance and visuals of Cyberpunk with that super resolution upgrade was like notably better, like really good. To the point on that little screen, you kind of looked like you were running a proper native resolution. Like it was really good. That could save this Series S.
That thing can ray trace.
Yeah, then melt.
Yeah. It can do it.
But I mean, the ray tracing doesn't necessarily mean power. It just needs the cores, doesn't it? Like, or whatever it is, that part of the GPU that handles ray tracing.
Did you?
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not sorry to put in. I'm playing Hogwarts on fidelity and ray tracing mode at the minute on Xbox Series X, and since the patch that's running at constant 30. I find ray tracing really difficult to tell the difference between non-ray tracing and ray tracing.
There's some bits in Hogwarts though that it looks incredible, like with the tiled floors and things like that.
But it looks incredible. It looks incredible without it, because we got
you get the fake version, don't you?
Yeah, and that's really good as well. I think that for me the big one, Shadows, was ray tracing. Like I whipped me little wand torch out, and all the lights started breaking through the leaves that was on the bush next to me, and that looked really cool.
Have you played the latest Metro?
Yes.
Do you have it on the Xbox Series X?
I think so. Yeah, of course I do. It's Bethesda, isn't it?
No, it's not. Metro.
Mm.
Metro. It's not Bethesda. It's definitely not Bethesda.
I think I've got it, but I thought that was part of Games Pass anyway.
No, it's not. It's not.
But
sure. Yeah, that's worth playing.
Has that got ray tracing now?
That's ray tracing 60.
Really? Oh, because I enjoyed that. I stopped playing it for no apparent reason as well. I should play it too, because that kind of struggled on the Xbox One X.
Yeah, it runs great on the X.
I did buy it, so yeah, I'll have a look at it. Before
we bugger off, are you getting and I'm really jealous, because the PlayStation 5 owners can download the demo of it. You can download it on Steam actually, and it does work on the Steam Deck. Are you getting Resident Evil 4 Remake? That's a no.
Don't know.
You're gonna wait for the reviews.
I'm sure it's great. It looks great. I really enjoyed
2.
Oh, I think I finished it. I think I did.
I loved 2.
I bought 3 and never played it.
I bought 3 in the sale.
Yeah, I bought 3
the day
it came out. Yeah, I bought 3 the day it came out, and then realized I didn't want to play it. That was a mistake. I don't know. I think I might wait for that to come to Game Pass,
What, you think that'll come to Game Pass?
The others did.
Well, we still haven't had The Village on Game Pass yet.
No, Village can't come to Game Pass.
Why?
It was the Sony deal to block it coming to Game Pass, because Biohazard came to Game Pass.
Yeah. I've just bought thingy for The Village, the DLC.
Expansione.
Yeah, it's on offer at the minute, £11. So
I might get that. Yeah,
I've just bought it because I want to play it in third person.
I'm not interested in playing third person, but I wouldn't mind having a crack at the extra content where you play his daughter.
You play his daughter. Yeah. I'm gonna have a bash at that.
I really enjoyed that game. That was one of my favorite
good game.
Evils.
Good game. Preferred the one before it.
I think you're probably right. I think the story of this one was better. I think if you were just going for frights, then that Biohazard was much scarier. But like I felt like I was on an adventure with this last one. That's my problem with remakes. I don't really want remakes. I want new stories.
New
I,
IPs.
yeah, and I want to put. No, it's not just that. But when you get a franchise like Resident Evil, which has been hitting on all cylinders now for the past 2 games, it's like 2 new games. I'd rather play the next installment of what
Yeah.
their vision of Resident Evil is now.
Yeah, definitely. I think I'm looking for and I think I think I prefer the first person. I don't know actually. Do I prefer first person?
I prefer first person with Resident Evil.
Yeah, but I'm really hankering to play.
I struggle with third person games now because I hate this over the shoulder cam that's took everything over.
Oh, you mean how it's gone kind of to the left, and you've got
Yeah,
you
I
just want
always
it
I
dead
think the
center in the middle.
character. Yeah, I think the character takes too much of the screen up.
Yeah, I know what you mean. You do get that, but I do.
Batman
Have,
fucked that, but that's Batman's fault.
have you played The Witcher recently?
I don't like it.
Because they've done the same thing.
Yeah, I don't like it as much. I
You can
prefer how
change
it
it. You
was.
can change it.
All right.
In this.
What I will say is I struggle to play The Witcher now in general.
Yeah, no, you said that.
Yeah, I find it really clunky now.
It's an old game.
It is an old game, great game, but
I might get on the Steam Deck.
why?
No, I'm not. You're right.
Yeah,
It's been done.
yeah.
Just like this show.
I think so. I think this is done.
We've hit the hour mark. We've agreed people that we're going to keep System Shift to about an hour.
Yeah, system then shift onto something else.
Yeah, but we will see you next week. God knows what it'll be about. Probably
Video games.
It will be about video games, but hopefully something big hits.
I'll probably tell you that I vomited shortly after this episode.
Yeah, he is going to vomit.
Mm.
Right, people.
This isn't even a light. This is what color I am at the minute.
Yeah, I wish I was this color. You know what color I really am, Lee.
Yeah, see-through.
See-through.
Right.
Bye-bye,
Ciao.
people. Like, share, subscribe. Send out to your mates that game their tits off, because we are trying to grow this little tiny thimble of a channel into next week.
Yeah, please, like we need the validation of strangers. It stops us hurting ourselves.
And it's nice to have once we've got a steady flow of chats. We may just do shows where we bring the chat in. There you go.
Yeah.
Put that in your bum.
So make more chat.